Hey cats, what's happening? What a beautiful summer day. And I think I've got things pretty well wrapped up around here as far as yard work goes. It's looking good. You know, when I'm out toiling, my mind's always going. You know, I've never been real big on tattoos. I probably poured through pages and pages and pages of those flash art tattoos and never found even one that remotely looked like something I'd want to put on my body. I think if I, you know, in the past I've thought about it and I thought, okay, well, then I want to try to find a really good artist that can put some really good art on my skin. But that never happened. But I do have one tattoo I had got a long time ago. The two wolf prints on my arm. And that was kind of in remembrance of the two wolf dogs that we had raised many years ago. A friend of ours from the neighborhood dropped off a little wolf hybrid puppy, female. And we had a male Samoyed Husky Shepherd mix, and he was a real good dog, but we bred him with the wolf hybrid, and we got some really cool dogs out of that. In fact, we sold quite a few litters and actually made some money on them. But as time went by, when you're raising puppies, litters of pups, it can get, yeah, it's a job. So we kind of put an end to that. The male eventually died, and we had the wolf female for quite a long time. And we saved one of her puppies. I think a lot of times they call him the runt of the litter. He was like the biggest, clumsiest, puppy out of all of them. And we kept him, and he turned out to be an amazing dog. So both of them, the wolf dogs that I had, were very special to me. And thus, I got the tattoo to kind of commemorate them and my love for them. But that's the only tattoo I've ever gotten. Like I said, I've thought about it before, and I've actually looked into different local artists, and then I just couldn't quite decide on exactly what I wanted. I mean, anything you put on your body is permanent as far as a tattoo goes, or semi-permanent. Uh, I think I told you a long time ago, I had a guy that I worked with that had a tattoo on his back that he would not show anyone. I believe he got it when he was in the Navy. He wouldn't show a soul his tattoo. And he wanted it removed off of his back. And he spent thousands of dollars getting, like laser treatments to get it removed off of his back. I don't know if he was ever successful about completely removing that tattoo or not. And to this day, I don't know what that tattoo was, but it was something that he was not very proud of. And probably if he could have done it over again, he would have never got it on his back. Anyway, it was years and years ago when I was in the kind of a ragtag club of bikers. And we had ridden a lot together. We spent a lot of time on the road. And the president of the club and some of the originals, as they call them, the guys that had basically started the club, they had this special tattoo that they had on their arms, and it was something that only they had. But there was a lot of guys that were interested in being members of the club. I wasn't one that pursued getting into their club, but I ended up in the club. Just because I was loyal and I was always there and I was always on the ride. So I went through their initiation and was pretty much sworn in as a full-fledged member. And then as time went by, because of my loyalty and because I stuck with the originals, the old cats. They met one day and they got me aside and they said, "Hey, look, we sat down, we had a meeting, we talked about it, and we're gonna have you get the tattoo." I said, "Okay." Now, it was something that I was kind of unsettled about because, like I said, I'm not going to put a tattoo on my body that I don't think is quite kosher. I mean, a lot of these club tattoos, the clubs take very seriously. Some of the big motorcycle clubs, 1% clubs, they guard their image and their moniker or whatever, their back patch. And they don't want anybody copying that or using that. And a lot of these members will get that tattooed on them. And as the story goes, when the day came when they were ousted from the club, they removed the tattoo. And there was a number of ways that was done. They carved it off with a knife, they burned it with a branding iron and burned it off, but they wouldn't let them take the tattoo with them when they booted them out of the club. Now, I don't know that the club that I was in was that serious about it, but they said, they wanted me to get the tattoo. So, I don't know if I wholeheartedly agreed to it, but I kind of, I didn't want to let them down and say, no, I'm not going to do it, because I felt my loyalty to them, and, they were my brothers at the time. So, they said, well, we'll let you know because there's only one specific tattoo artist that does our tattoos, and we only use this one specific pattern, and that's exactly what we want you to do, and we're going to go with you when you get it done. We will be there. Well, okay, I'll do that. Well, the time went on, and time continued to pass. And the schedule was never made for me to get the tattoo. And then after a while, the whole thing started to fall apart, and that was the end of the club for me anyways. I didn't get booted out of the club. It just kind of, I guess, disbanded, for lack of better description. The guys still purported to be the originals, and the club still existed, but not in the sense that, when I was part of that. In fact, when I was part of it, it was so popular that other bikers were like begging to be a part of that club. And I think before it was all done, I think there was probably at least 30 people that purported to be members. Whether they were or not, I don't know. But I never did get the tattoo, and I don't regret that 1 minute to this day. I think it's a pretty neat tattoo. I think it's pretty cool. At any rate, even if I was going to get that one done, I think I'd want to go to somebody that was a really good artist and kind of have them redo it a little finer, a little more, I don't know, accurately, just a better depiction of that particular cat, I think would be pretty cool if it was done really professionally and not just by some hack tattoo artist. Well, I don't plan on ever getting any more tattoos in my life, at least not at this point. I have enough scars on my arms now that aren't really tattoos, but they all tell a story in one way or another. At one point, the whole side of my face was scar tissue from a motorcycle accident that I had in my younger years when I hit the pavement pretty hard. But that seems to have kind of disappeared over the years, and I can't even tell where it is anymore. All right, cats. Well, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate your patronage, and if you liked the video, give me the thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my videos. I'd love to have you along for this ride. Thanks for the prayers and the support. continue to pray for my wife and her recovery, and hopefully we can see her back on the video sometime in the future. But until then, ride hard and die free.